Before Nikita Kassup was charged with murder, he was held in the Waukesha County Jail only on charges that he stole his parents' car and gun. That changed today, but I do want to warn you, the details that we learned, some people may find disturbing.
The 17-year-old is accused of killing his mom, Tatiana Kassup, and his stepdad, Donald Mayer, more than a month ago, back on February 11th. Court records say he shot his mom in an upstairs hallway, his stepdad in an office. Police say he left the bodies where they died. Then Kassup lived in the house for nearly 2 weeks before he fled. Police found a camera memory card that showed about a week after the murder, Kassup was lighting candles in the office where his stepdad's body was sitting and recording the dead body. Police say at one point Kassup stood next to his stepdad's body with his phone out as if taking pictures, all while videoing himself with another camera. So Kassup then says, "So you can see him there. I can literally see the expletive rotting body." In the month leading up to the murder, Kassup also told a girl at his school that he wanted to shoot and kill his parents, but he told her it was only hypothetical because he didn't have a gun.
The defendant did threaten to kill witness A if she told anyone what he was telling her after he had given her information that he was speaking with someone from Russia.
Kassup is now being held on a $1 million bail. He has not entered a plea on the new charges against him. That will come next week.
And new developments tonight in the double murder of a Waukesha couple, their teenage son under arrest. Prosecutors say Nikita Kassup shot and killed his mom and stepfather back in February. Today, a commissioner says the state has enough evidence for the case to go to trial. It's live at the Waukesha County Courthouse tonight. Now, we heard from a detective on the case today.
We sure did. It is the first time we've heard from a detective in this case. He was here at the courthouse today detailing the evidence they've collected against 17-year-old Nikita Kassup. And now we are learning the teen could be facing more charges. Waukesha West student Nikita Kassup handcuffed and in court Wednesday.
The matter is scheduled here today for preliminary hearings.
As for the first time, we hear from one of the detectives on the case.
With regard to victim A, what was the cause of death?
Homicide due to gunshot wound to the head.
Waukesha County Sheriff Detective Ross Seitz says Kassup's mom, Tatiana Kassup, and her husband, Donald Mayer, were likely shot and killed inside their home on February 11th. Investigators believe the teen then continued to live in the home for another 12 days. The criminal complaint saying video evidence shows Kassup in the same room as his stepfather's body to, quote, keep candles lit or adjust the camera. Deputies discovering the couple dead and decomposing on February 28th.
Things had been emptied from drawers and closets. Things were all over the floor. Victim B body was appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Detective Seitz says Kassup was eventually arrested in Kansas with his stepfather's car, gun, 70 pieces of jewelry, and
there was roughly $14,000 found in the vehicle. I believe 8 was possibly found in a Bible.
The defense asked to dismiss the charges, but with evidence for all 9 felony charges presented Wednesday.
In fact, that's more detail than I would typically get at a preliminary hearing.
And with possibly more charges coming, the commissioner says the case can continue.
Following, there's probable cause to believe that this defendant committed all of these counts, all of these felonies, so I'll order him bound over for trial.
And so, Hannah, do we know what these additional charges could be?
So, Blake, I did ask the district attorney that here this morning. She says they would likely be related to some electronic downloads they're still waiting to receive. In the meantime, Kassup, he is still being held in custody here in Waukesha on a $1 million bond.
A double homicide investigation in Waukesha takes a turn. The FBI is now linking the teen accused of killing his parents to an assassination plot targeting President Donald Trump.
It's awful, to be honest, because it's like kids and teenagers are exposed to so many things these days as it is.
Some people who live in the area are alarmed by these new details unsealed Friday in federal court. The documents detail a conspiracy by 17-year-old Nikita Kassup tied to a neo-Nazi group. Tahalil Mohadeen spoke with people who live in Waukesha County about this twist in the case.
Already facing charges for killing his mother and stepfather, 17-year-old Nikita Kassup from Waukesha became the subject of an extensive FBI search warrant.
It was alarming. I mean, it's not really something that you would think happening in such a small town like Waukesha.
Investigators discovered the teen's self-described manifesto that included making bombs, terrorist attacks, and plans for the assassination of President Donald Trump.
Just mind-blowing.
While investigating Kassup in the killings of Tatiana Kassup and Donald Mayer, authorities found material linking the teen to the Order of the Nine Angels, a network of neo-Nazis which advocates for violence and the destruction of modern civilizations. Kassup calling for Trump's assassination. He wrote, "By getting rid of the president, that is guaranteed to bring in some chaos. Not only that, it will further bring into the public the idea that assassinations and accelerating the collapse are possible." The warrant covered a number of Kassup's electronic devices, including his laptop and phone.
That's crazy to me because growing up, we didn't even really have the internet. If I ever have kids, there's definitely going to be parental controls on the internet, that's for sure.
The teen engaged with white nationalists online about his plans, writing, "My parents don't know, LOL. They would take my phone away if they did." Investigators believe Kassup may have killed his parents to get the, quote, financial means and autonomy needed to pursue his plan.
It is so true in the fact that you just never know, what's kind of going on around you.
Investigators say Kassup made payments for an attack drone and planned to flee to Ukraine following his proposed assassination.
Tonight, 17-year-old Nikita Kassup, already charged with the chilling double murder of his Wisconsin parents, now in the FBI's crosshairs for, investigators believe, plotting to kill President Donald Trump, according to newly unsealed federal court documents. The news stunning the small city of Waukesha.
What's it like to hear that about your neighbor?
It's terrible. I was just so torn by it.
This FBI affidavit saying authorities found in the teen's phone a manifesto calling for the assassination of the President of the United States in order to foment a political revolution and promote white supremacy, along with materials linking him to a neo-Nazi extremist group. Investigators writing Kassup in messages with someone said he planned to use a drone in the attack that would drop a bomb with nuts, bolts, needles, and then flee to Ukraine. The affidavit stating Kassup had paid for, at least in part, a drone and explosives and was communicating with someone with a Ukrainian number. It did not say where or when he allegedly planned to target the president. This after, back in late February, local authorities during a welfare check found the teen's parents shot to death in the family home. The affidavit saying the couple had been dead for roughly 2 weeks and Kassup living in the home with their bodies, then fleeing before he was arrested in Kansas. Investigators writing the killing of his parents appeared to be an effort to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan.
Joins us now outside the Waukesha jail where this teen's being held. The White House is not commenting tonight?
Yeah, Hallie, that's right. We reached out to the White House for comment. We have yet to hear back. This, of course, after multiple attempts on the president's life last year. Kassup's attorney, for what it's worth, also not responding to our request for comment. He, the teenager in this case, has yet to enter a plea in the murder case tied to those state charges. At the same time, this affidavit indicating multiple federal charges could be coming tied to this now foiled assassination plot.
Those records give us a better understanding of the trail investigators followed in this case and how the murders were part of a much larger, disturbing plot. They detail Nikita Kassup's internet activity and conversations about white supremacy and overthrowing the government.
A federal search warrant, unsealed Friday, details a murder plot as part of a plan targeting President Donald Trump. The documents attribute that plot to 17-year-old Waukesha student Nikita Kassup. According to prosecutors, the teenager stayed inside the home with their bodies for 12 days.
Victim B body was appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Police arrested Kassup in Kansas weeks later, finding him with his stepfather's car, gun, and $14,000. The motive for the murders, according to the federal warrant, was to use that money to fund a plan calling for the president's assassination, to, quote, foment a political revolution in the United States and save the white race. According to the records, Kassab shared an affinity for the neo-Nazi group, the Order of Nine Angles. And they also reference a 3-page manifesto quoted as saying, "As to why, specifically Trump, I think it's obvious. By getting rid of the president and perhaps the vice president, that is guaranteed to bring some chaos." The records show Kassab on the platform's TikTok and Telegram discussed buying a drone to use in an attack. And investigators say he told a classmate, quote, "When they saw 10 consecutive attacks in the news, it would have been him."
And investigators also say Kassab paid for, at least in part, a drone and explosives to be used as a weapon of mass destruction to commit an attack.
And Emily, those documents say Kassab shared some of his ideology and murderous plot with classmates. Any indication those classmates came forward to police?
Not according to these documents. As for his future plans, though, investigators say Kassab discussed moving to Ukraine, asking whether he could live a normal life even after his crimes were discovered.
Wisconsin teen Nikita Kassab is currently being held on a $1 million bond. The 17-year-old is accused of murdering his mother and stepfather inside their Waukesha home back in February and stealing their car and leaving with the family dog. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Department says they found the bodies of 51-year-old Donald Mayer and 35-year-old Tatiana Kassab on March 1st during a welfare check. Law enforcement eventually arresting Kassab during a traffic stop in Kansas 2 weeks later, saying they found a handgun, pried open safe, jewelry, and $14,000 cash inside the vehicle, as well as documents on his phone calling for the assassination of the President of the United States in order to foment a political revolution. Officials go on to claim Kassab killed his parents as part of an effort to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to carry out his plan. According to federal documents filed in court, Kassab shared the views of an extremist neo-Nazi group. The FBI describes the group as a satanic cult whose goal it is to incite chaos and violence. Kassab is facing 9 felony charges, including 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, but prosecutors hinted there could be more charges. He has not entered a plea. His next court appearance is set for May 7th.
And tonight, our episode comes to an end. Give me your thoughts on little Nikita here. Do you think that it was warnings before he actually carried out the crimes that he did? Do you think that because he's the age of 17, he may have gotten compromised by that hate group that he was associated with? Or do you think they should just throw the book at him? After all, unaliving your parents is unforgivable. Well, at least in my book. Leave your comments below. Until next time, I'm your gracious host, Marlo.
Thank you for watching Prime Crime Network, your source for urban and suburban and around the world news. Hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell